Hi, my name's Ian, and this video I'm going to talk a bit about location and kind of trying to decide where you can teach abroad and what's the best location for you. First off, I tell you to do wherever, if you're having difficulty deciding, you got to do some research on where, like, the culture and where you're thinking about teaching, So spend some time doing research, After that, even after you focus on a country, I'd say two things you got to focus on again would be: do you want to be in like a big city, or do you want to be in like a more rural environment, or a smaller city? Because there's a difference, And I've taught in China, Shanghai, China, huge city, and I've taught in, Busan, Korea, about 3.5 or almost 4 million people. Changwon, Korea, which is like less than 1 million people. Maybe, I don't remember exactly, maybe 800,000 or something. You can look it up. And then in Taiwan, I've taught in Taichung, which is about 1 million people, in Tainan, which is about 1 million or maybe slightly less. So there's a difference, And the first difference, I'd tell you that, in a big city, you're gonna find more like comforts and things that you're used to, Like as far as food goes, you'll find more foods that you're used to eating. But again, everything's different. You're in a different country, so you're gonna have less options no matter what city you're in. Whether you're in like Seoul or Shanghai or Taipei, you're never gonna find all the options, that you can find, in your country. Pretty much as far as everything goes, So as far as food, you're always gonna find more options for foods and stuff, in the grocery. As far as like restaurants go, and also like in the supermarket, you're gonna find find more options in a bigger city than you will in a smaller city or in a rural environment. You're also gonna find more options as far as like nightlife, those sorts of things, cafes. As far as bookstores go, you're also going to find more options in a big city. If you want to find English books and that sort of thing, and if you're going to be in a small country or small city or whatever, or a rural sort of place, you're just not going to have many options. So as far as comforts go, you're going to find more comforts, more things you're used to in a big city. And in a small city, you're going down. The smaller you get, you're going to be, just limited more to the cultural stuff. What's going on there? The food people are eating there. Yeah, like that. So if you really want a more, it's a cultural experience either way. If you're going to be in a big city, you're still going to have culture. You're still going to have, that country's culture around you. It's even more cultural, I think, when you're in a smaller city, or you're, in a rural place. You're not going to have, you may still find like a Burger King or McDonald's or KFC or something like that. Fast food, like junk food chains and stuff like that. You may find those in a small city, or even in some smaller like towns, I guess. But other than that, you're not going to find, much diversity. So if those things are important to you, diversity, as far as like maybe finding clothes, finding like a diversity of food, finding, just a diversity of social outlets, books and stuff like that, then you're probably going to be better off in a more urban, environment, in a larger city, perhaps. If you're really looking for like a really cultural experience, then a small city or a smaller town would be fine too. And another thing too, each country's going to be different. Like, I'm kind of talking kind of general here, and I mean these things do apply, about the city versus a smaller city or rural. But even within a country, there's going to be some differences. I can't think of something right off the top of my head what I mean exactly, but like for food, like I lived in Tainan, Taiwan, and I can find Mexican food there. And I like Mexican food. There's a few stores and stuff, but I had a hard time finding that in like a place like a city of the same size, like, or in Busan and stuff like that. I think that there must have been some place there, but I didn't find it. It wasn't that easy to find anyways, or something like that. So I think, yeah, I mean, now I'm kind of going on a different tangent, but I think Taiwan compared to Korea is a little bit more diversity as far as like finding foods and stuff like that. Also, be music, if you want to hear like, big bands like from the States or whatever country you're from that travel around the world and do shows and stuff like that. I'd also say that, again, of course, find those sort of things. You really got to be in a big city, And I'm reminded of something right now, like, yeah, I don't think I didn't live in Seoul in Korea, but I didn't find it very. I lived in Busan, which is the second largest city, and I can't remember anybody while I was there, anybody like famous, like a big band coming through there, anything like that, Seoul's probably different. Yet in Taiwan, I mean, even in some of the smaller cities, like Kaohsiung, in some of the cities I lived in, some big name acts, like famous DJs and stuff, came through and stuff. So again, like each country is gonna vary a little bit too. But basically, the bottom line is, you want options, you want comforts, Western comforts, things you're used to, things that you take for granted. You're probably gonna be better off in a bigger city, And if you're really looking for like a cultural experience, then you might consider a small city, or a more rural location. But I'd be a little cautious with that if it's your first time. So I mean, because it's so different, living abroad. So, but anyways, that can work fine for some. So there you have it.